What's up, guys? Back with All Ball Talk today. More transport news. Dedan Thomas, the LSU point guard, is transferring to Houston, which is kind of a move that I didn't fully expect. I mean, I was a little surprised, but I was a little surprised, honestly, because I don't know if Dedan Thomas is the caliber of player to go to Houston. But before we get into the video, just tell you guys, there's in the bio, I have a free Discord. I'd love for you to join. Just trying to build a community there. It's completely free. Again, yeah, just trying to build a community there, and it's in the channel bio. Just anybody who wants to talk ball, it's open to everybody, and I love for anybody who wants to join. But let's get back to the video. Dedan Thomas, he is a what size? Smaller guard. He's 6'1", 180. Spent 2 years in UNLV, obviously. Spent last year at LSU. He only played 16 games at LSU, actually. But we saw his assist numbers go up. His points per game was pretty much the same, around 15. But we saw assist numbers go up. And the weird thing about him is he's not one of those inefficient scoring guards, whereas he does take a good amount of shots a game. But this is a guy who only shot 30% from three last year. And before that, he was only around 35 to 36 on at most 3 attempts a game, which is, in my opinion, like, you knew I was with Houston, like, you're not getting Josh Hubbard. Like, you're getting more of, like, LJ Cryer, who I don't know if he shoots as much as LJ Cryer. But he only shoots 11 to 12 shots a game, which is actually not as much as you'd think for a guy averaging 15 points a game. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed with Dedan Thomas's game. I think that he was stuck in a bad situation with Matt McMahon. I think Matt McMahon was not a good coach, and he kind of got screwed because he went to a bad spot. I'm sure he was expecting to have better recruitment coming out of UNLV because he was a very talented player coming to UNLV. He was super talented, and I personally thought he was going to go better than LSU last year. And surprisingly enough, he plays half the season, and he actually goes up a level to Houston. Played for Kelvin Sampson. The defense is a little bit of a worry, but I think I saw a good point. I think it was from Ryan Hammer. Like this, even though this team had Kingston Flemings, I don't know if Kingston Flemings was like the LJ Cryer type, or I'm trying to think of another, like, Kingston Flemings is more like Jamal Shed. And those Jamal Shed teams were crazy good defensively, but they had their limits. Especially offensively. They continuously dropped the dud, like when they went out in the tournament. And as good as those teams ever were, they never had national championship upside because their best scorer on their team was probably Jamal Shed. I mean, at that point, Juwan Roberts was good, but it really came down to, like, Jamal Shed had to get you a bucket. And last year when they made it the championship game, it had kind of switched to LJ Cryer. And LJ Cryer was more of like the get you a bucket type. He made big shots, and as inefficient as he might have been, a little inefficient, I wouldn't say he was super inefficient like I was going to say, but he could score the ball. And Kingston Flemings score the ball too, obviously, but I don't know if I think he'd be much more confident in LJ Cryer taking the last shot compared to Kingston Flemings. And I think Dedan Thomas is a little bit in the middle of that. I think Dedan Thomas is definitely a little bit more of a pass first point, a little bit more of that Jamal Shed, but he doesn't play much defense, which is going to be an issue. But with Kelvin Sampson he's going to build elite defenders around him. I'm going to believe they're going to get JoJo Tugler, Chase McCarty, Chase McCarty, George Tugler, and Mercy Miller. Mercy Miller's going to be back. So, Houston's actually, this is probably the most amount of rebuilding we've had to see them do. Kelvin Sampson's one hell of a coach. I'm going to trust Kelvin Sampson 10 times out of 10. And even though I was a little surprised by Dedan Thomas, I don't know if, I'm a little hesitant because I don't know if Dedan Thomas is that level of a lead guard at a place like Houston. Because as good a player as he is, only a 15 point per game scorer, which is nothing to frown upon, but 15 points is not, you're not getting Rob Wright. And I know Rob Wright has his own defensive flaws, but like Dedan Thomas is kind of the same way. He's 6'1", 180. He has defensive flaws. I don't think the move is like you're kind of getting a discount at Rob Wright. Whereas like I know Houston probably wouldn't be able to afford Rob Wright, and it seems like he's gonna go to Kentucky. But I just feel like for them to keep their championship aspirations, who are the scorers on this team next year? I think you'll expect Mercy Miller to take a huge step, especially as a shooter. Chase McCarty actually showed some promise. I haven't been looking at other guys they're gonna get. I believe their recruiting class should be pretty good. But yeah, I mean, Isaiah Harwell obviously left, but I wasn't super. I'm just not a super. I don't want to say impressed by the pickup, but it's just not. It's not a sexy pickup. Like he's not a guy that I think is gonna end up being first team All Big 12. Whereas like if I'm looking at Houston next year and I don't see a first team All Big 12 player, that's an issue because the Big 12 is increasingly getting better every year. Kansas is obviously they're gonna have to retool too. They're kind of stuck in the same position. But Arizona's a wagon and they have to rebuild. Everyone has to rebuild and retool. And the decider on how well you're gonna rebuild and retool is money. And I know Houston has the money, which is why I feel like they could have done better than Dedan Thomas. I know they might not have had Rob Wright money, but I think they could get a better pickup than him, in my personal opinion. Although, again, he's not a bum. He averages 15, and he got his assists up to 6.5. If he's spreading the ball around like that, you get Mercy Miller starts to get hot. He was a great shooter in high school. Chase McCarty can get hot. Like it should make an interesting team. I believe they're getting a 5-star if I'm not wrong. I'll have to look it up. I believe they're getting a 5-star center. But again, I'm gonna trust Kelvin Sampson on this one. I would personally rate it a B- for me. I just don't love it. I think he's a good player. I think he's a good, talented player. But at the end of the day, how much does he elevate Houston basketball? And is he a guy who you trust to go get you a bucket at the end of the game? Because that's what it'll come down to. Houston's going to be in a lot of tough games because they play such great defense. And they're going to fit. I don't think his defense is going to be an issue because they're going to have so many great defenders around him that it's just going to make it so that he's hidden. And that's perfect for him. He's not a good defender, but he's an offensive. He's a point guard. He's a true point guard. And he has to shoot a bunch of threes. I wouldn't say he's full pass first, but he likes to get downhill. And he's smaller. It reminds me a little bit of Jamal Shead and LJ Cryer, but I just don't know if he has the scoring prowess of LJ Cryer, which is why I don't trust Houston. Like I don't trust a Dedan Thomas led Houston team. Now I'm sure Houston will prove me wrong, and Kelvin Sampson, Dedan Thomas will probably turn into like an All Big 10, All Big 12 player, and I'm gonna look like an idiot. But I don't know. I might be a little bit lower on going on Houston next year, but yeah, I mean I don't love it. It's not great in my opinion. I don't think it's horrible, but yeah, I mean it's an okay hire. It's not great in my eyes, but that's all I have. So I'll see you guys on All Ball Talk. We'll have all transfer portal news. Stay alert. I guess we'll have all the news coming here. So see you guys next one.